This edition of Sportsball is brought to you by Raycon. If there's one thing that's always turned me off from wireless earbuds, it's how easily they fall out of your ears if you move. Either that or having to adjust them, they're not worth the hassle. As a guy who gets restless and can't stand still for 5 minutes, this sort of thing is crucial to me. With Raycon, I not only get a comfortable, firm fit, but they offer a premium sound while severely limiting outside noise. There are times where I feel like nothing else exists besides the sound out of these things. They've just introduced their newest model that boasts 6 hours of battery life, seamless Bluetooth connectivity, stronger bass, and a sleek design with multiple color palettes. And at a price point significantly less than other major brands, I'm honestly sold. They've got big backers behind them too. Raycon was co-founded by Ray J and is worn by people like Snoop Dogg and J.R. Smith. You can't deny J.R. Smith, man, he's a legend! If you like what you're hearing, click the link in the description below to save 15% off your order. You won't regret it. And remember to thank Raycon for sponsoring this video. Mother Nature was trying to warn us with the weather delay. She knew that this game was going to be utter trash. It's less to do about Tampa as the turnover bakery was closed for the day. It's on the home team, the one that was expected to win. Even with the short rest, the offense looked far worse than they should. Cam Newton's going from Superman to a retiree flying away in a typhoon. Wildly inaccurate, immobile, surrounded by a terrible offensive line. If I'm a Panthers fan, I am panicking right now. When you stop McCaffrey, this offense goes nowhere. Even with the slow death of Newton, the stars were aligning for Carolina to win. Their defense, the Bucs, and the refs were doing everything in their power to give them an undeserved victory. And again, a team chooses to get way too goddamn cute. When will people learn for every Philly special there are 6 indie punt fakes? Another winnable game thrown to the wayside for Carolina. This is the kind of stuff that gets people fired. Seats getting hotter, Ron. The National Weather Service has just issued an update to the Miami area. Hurricane Dorian is no longer the greatest threat to the city this year. It is the Dolphins. They will not only destroy anything resembling hope, they'll dismantle the foundations of the entire team. Flailing and scattering everything around in an effort to be relevant in about 5 years makes them easy prey for, let's look here, the Patriots. Even their voodoo curse in Miami isn't enough to stop their relentless tank. At last check, 20 people were taken to the hospital with third-degree burns from the Dolphins scorching the earth in front of them. Antonio Brown is far from the ugliest seen here. They may be watching Fitzception's charisma melt away in the heat. Hope those mid-round picks you get will be worth it, Dolphins. Cincinnati, you already know this part of the season. It's when the hope you felt after a surprising run to start the year is slowly beaten out of you by an abusive schoolmaster. You tried to escape the basement? Good, you get 20 lashes with a belt. The San Francisco 49ers were this year's honorable ass-kicker. The offense was sluggish until garbage time. The defense torched repeatedly, complete breakdowns resulting in long gains for Raheem Mostert and Jimmy Jesus. This is the part where you miss AJ Green, even if it would have done nothing here. Unfortunately, he's still stuck in line on the Escalooser trying to leave the stadium. Would you like an easy opponent to further pad your stats and make your case for an outstanding contract, Dak? Say hello to the Washington Redskins. Even at your home away from home in FedEx Field, there will be no mercy for their secondary. Here is Zeke, and here is him feasting like he always does. No matter what the Redskins may try, they are no match for your offensive prowess. Doesn't it feel good to beat up on pretend football teams like Washington and the Giants? I'd bask in this while you can. Before Taco Charlton demands out? Sounds like a dude getting pissy that he isn't good enough to crack the starting 11. Enjoy Miami. The Lamar Jackson Show takes its talents back to Baltimore to enjoy another edition of their cakewalk opening schedule with the Cardinals. Unlike those failures in Detroit, the Ravens learned from their mistakes. Despite giving up a good bit of yardage, Baltimore had always kept them in check. Lamar Jackson looks like a legitimate dual-threat quarterback so far. It comes with the asterisk of playing terrible defenses so far, but it's a huge sigh of relief to a burning question. If he keeps this up, he's the new Michael Vick, and who the hell knows how high the ceiling could be if that's the case. I want to see how he looks against stronger opponents, but consider me intrigued. But seriously though, for a revolutionary offense, Arizona's kicking field goals from inside the 5-yard line? Let's roleplay. You are the New York Giants. There is a quarterback dilemma on your doorstep. Who you spend the night with is a tough decision indeed. On your left, you see a good-looking, youthful virgin girl with promise and has had significant capital invested from the team. On the right, an old hag with a body worn down by chain-smoking, liver failure, and hepatitis. If you chose the former option, you're wrong, because the Giants believe in this thing called loyalty. It means nothing that Eli Manning hasn't been any good in years. He was a 2-time Super Bowl champion, and he should be allowed to botch passes and throw all the picks he wants. I know Buffalo's defense is pretty stout, but are you guys even trying? Just start Daniel Jones. You aren't winning with Eli, so why not fail to win with a rookie who can develop? And look at that, you used logic and are starting the rookie. Now if you could only do the same for that garbage defense you have. To think the Titans weren't only retiring a few numbers, they were also retiring their momentum from the Browns game last week. Unlike that speaker, Tennessee's offense did not catch fire. They mainly struggled to gain traction, with a side of cool story by passing a touchdown to a cancer survivor. Just a bunch of blah with a helping of 3 and outs. Top it all off with a strong performance by Jacoby Brissett, and you get one of the more botched 2-minute drills in recent memory. Why are you spiking the ball twice when you have 4 downs? Leaves far too little margin for error. And it cost ya. Take a look at the film, boys. This is how you don't manage a final drive. Good riddance. After 2 surprising defensive performances, we will now see who will assert themselves to lead the NFC North in this young season. In the beginning, there was Packer dominance, asserting themselves against a Viking defense eager to take out their rival. But then the Packer offense went dry. A drought of production ensued after putting up 21 points off the bat. There were struggles. Dalvin Cook ran all over the defense. There were arguments between Aaron Rodgers and his new coach on the sidelines. There was tension. But you have to remember, you're facing a Kirk Cousins-led team and you're over 500. Despite your struggles, they'll struggle harder. There will be questionable offensive pass interference penalties robbing them of touchdowns. Cousins will bumble golden opportunities at every turn. No matter what happens, the Packers will win this game. Wisconsin makes a victory cheese and calls it a night. Like always. Unlike last week, this game is the true test for the Steelers. An equal opponent in Seattle at home. Even with the offense struggling early, I have confidence that they will pull through in the end. I need to separate this again, god damn it. A game which you're favored to win and a team ready to hand you victory at any cost. There is only one solution for such an easy opponent. We call this the Qualcomm Special. It starts with trading touchdowns, but Detroit is so generous they miss their extra point. Even with a head start, the San Diego spirit consumes them. The Lions are kneeling with a victory for you to grasp, but you do nothing with it whatsoever. You keep it close, uncomfortably so. But a breakthrough comes to LA. Only for it to be negated due to a penalty. You still make it to the 1-yard line, so eager to cough up hope that you pull a boner and give Detroit the ball. The defense still does its job, but you remember your starting kicker was a late scratch in this game. It shows. Multiple times over. The Chargers missing field goals? Sacrilege. To this point where the Lions have had enough of you blowing everything and choose to stumble into a touchdown by means of Kenny Golladay. But there is desperation in the air. LA chooses to push forward, only to blow it all away by interception. Detroit is gifted a win by your incompetence. I see they went to the Steelers school of playing down to their competition. Mike Tomlin would be proud of such failure. You ever think that certain games are just so terrible that they belong on Thursday Night Football? This was one of those scenarios. A game so sloppily played, so plodding and deep in the muck that there was little value in snark or analysis alike. The only life out of either side being an argument between a bologna sandwich and a guy in a Brinks truck. Not much is done until the 4th quarter, where the defensive stranglehold is broken by both teams. The legend of Gardner Minshew grows with a last-minute touchdown. Perhaps a stunning victory is in the cards. Going for it is a bold, if logical, move. The Texans have done little against the Saxonville defense all game. The problem is this. If you're going to be aggressive, why do you make one of the most conservative play calls known to man? In shotgun formation. With a player who's been struggling all game. That's just idiocy. A game thrown away for no reason whatsoever. Behold someone somehow more antiquated than Bill O'Brien. It's fitting and pathetic at the same time. Just like you guys wasting Jalen Ramsey with zone defenses. Now he's demanding a trade out as you side with the mediocre head coach who might be getting fired soon. 2017 is looking more and more like a fluke. Perhaps the Madden curse isn't real at all. Maybe it's just a figment of our imagination and we've tied an arbitrary achievement to an injury or sudden decline. The reasoning? Patrick Mahomes. The dude is a living cheat code. Watch him sling the ball deep with no effort whatsoever. No matter what an opponent does, they are no match for his whims and fancies. Congratulations, Raiders. You are the chosen team to die to his might this week. Nothing personally does this to everyone. See you later, Oakland. After an ugly victory last week, the Saints are gearing up for a strong showing in Los Angeles against the team that fucked them in the NFC Championship game. They won't be falling for the same traps today, just you wait and see. Oh god. Well, that changes everything. Without the main cog of your offense, everything goes astray and the Rams cruise to an easy victory. Yes, bitch about the uncalled fumble recovery all you want, you were still losing this game quite easily. Bridgewater isn't a slouch, but he's far from Drew Brees out there. You're in some serious shit. That's all I'll say. Here's a pound of flesh from the Rams and Aaron Donald. It's doing nothing but accept you're going to be a new category on Pornhub and like it. A game I thoroughly expected the Bears to win is easily turning out to be a lot harder than it should be. The culprit here is a terrible offense with shitty quarterbacking and play calling alike. Something I've always wanted to see are talents like Cohen and Cunningham being squandered to see failed passes and no productivity whatsoever. It's thankful that you're playing a team with no offense like the Broncos, or else this game may have been lost long before you got your shit together. Hell, forcing your defense onto the field for ages finally backfired on you by means of touchdown. And penalty after missed kick. And 2-point conversion. You should all hang your heads in shame. Oh wait, I'm supposed to forget this because you finally have a kicker! Now we can forget about how your offense is the equivalent of putrid fecal matter. By the way, how the fuck is this roughing the passer? Seriously? An offseason devoted to preventing ref ball and you still fuck it up? Don't bitch at me, Bears fans, because if the shoe was on the other foot, you would never stop whining about it. Just imagine if Denver did something with their ref ball, you'd be even more insufferable. Take your undeserved win and get the hell out of my sight. Prepare yourselves for injury ball! Thank you, I already know I'm going to hell. Are you ready for every player you came to see fall victim to the insatiable thirst of the football gods? Then this game is for you. As long as you enjoy Carson Wentz playing like shit and trying to give the Falcons the game in the first half. When Josh McCown is seen as the better option, there may be an issue. Regardless, I have a question. How are the Eagles even in this game to begin with? They've done nothing but trip over themselves but are still within a score? Matt Ryan throwing picks aside, Philadelphia overcomes their injuries and takes the lead deep into the fourth quarter. All seems lost until they expose an all-out blitz and recapture the lead. It's at this point where I ask another question. How do you let this pass drop, Aguilar? You catch this, it's an easy touchdown. Even with the clutch fourth down conversion, that drop still stings. I don't care about the injuries, this loss is tough as all hell to swallow. Only a brick wall could stop you. Its name is the Eagles. It's like I'm watching the Phillies with all this disappointment. JETS Jets football on a nondescript Monday night. You know what this means. Bring out the butt fumble detector. After last week's jetting of potential winning, this game comes with added challenges. Your defensive stalwarts CJ Mosley and Quinnen Williams are out with injury. Sam Darnold to the rescue? Not today. He has been stricken down with mononucleosis for an uncertain period of time. Even bacteria knows a butt fumble when it sees one. Let's cut to the chase, this game isn't even close from the get-go. The Browns didn't even do that well, but it didn't matter. The Jets' offense was somehow even flatter than last week. Trevor Siemian was thrust into action and showed his rust early, at least until the football gods had enough and struck him down with injury as well. Prepare for third stringer Luke Falk. This is gonna be another long season, ain't it? Le'Veon Bell is out here trying to Rambo the entire defense, yet there's nothing else around him. The Jets are butt fumbling their way to Tank Bowl territory, it's that bad for them. Once again, Cleveland wasn't overly impressive, but they had a pulse. It was all they needed to beat this team. With their upcoming schedule, the Jets could realistically go 0-6. That tank might be getting fierce. Would you look at that, you've pissed off Jamal Adams and he may want out of this shithole. Can I somehow amplify this butt fumble detector? The gods always demand sacrifice. Let us lament those we have lost this week.
Unit lost. Unit lost.
May the fallen be blessed in the football afterlife. Amen.
Rosen, rush coming, ball is intercepted. And it's over.